Every morning is your chance to become a superhuman. That moment when you wake up is not just the start of a new day, but the beginning of a new life, where every choice, every action can shape your destiny. You do not merely exist, you create. You do not follow the world, you become its creator. This video is based on Nietzsche's philosophy and will be of interest and use to those who seek to understand their true power and are ready to challenge the mundane. For those who crave not just knowledge, but transformation. Well then, let us begin. Awakening with intention is your first act of power over yourself and the world. It is the moment when you, with your eyes still closed, decide who you will be, the master of your destiny or its pitiful bystander. You lie in silence, but within you, a storm is already brewing. This silence is not emptiness, it is the space where willpower is born. Right here in this very second, you forge the foundation of your day and therefore your life. Do not think about what the day will bring to you, for that is the mindset of the weak. Think instead about what you are, capable of giving to the world. Let your first thought be like a flash of lightning, clear, precise, unrelenting. What will I create today? This question is not mere words. It is a challenge you hurl at your own weakness, your laziness, your fear. It is the cry of your soul demanding movement, creation, and growth. Those who begin their day without intention are mere shadows among shadows. Their actions are meaningless. Their steps lead nowhere. But those who awaken with a clear purpose become the light that pierces the darkness. Their day is no accident but a work of art, no chaos but a symphony. In this moment, you become not just a person but a creator. Your intention is the first brushstroke on a canvas that will soon transform into a masterpiece. What will it be? That depends not on circumstances, not on others, but solely on you. You possess the power to turn even the most ordinary day into a work of brilliance. Do not yield to the temptation of passivity. Your morning is a battlefield, and intention is your sword. Ask yourself, what will I create? Not for glory, not for praise, not to appease others, but because creation is your nature, because in it lies your true essence. And remember, each morning is a new life. It does not matter who you were yesterday, what you lost, or what you let slip away. Today you stand at the threshold of something great. All that is required is to begin with intention. Do not fear bold dreams. Do not fear taking daring steps. For only those who awaken with fire in their souls can ignite light even in the darkest corners of this world. Your day begins not with the sunrise, but with your will. Do not wait for inspiration. Be the inspiration. Do not search for meaning. Create it. And in doing so, you will not merely participate in life, you will command it. Victory over weakness begins the moment you rise from your bed, rejecting the seductive pull of comfort. That soft embrace of warmth, that quiet whisper urging you to remain, is not a friend, but a trap. It is the cunning voice of mediocrity, lulling you into submission, chaining you to stagnation. To linger in bed is to surrender before the battle has even begun. But you are not here to linger. You are not here to rest. You are here to rise, to wrestle with the world, to carve your mark upon it. The act of getting up is more than a physical motion. It is a declaration of your will, a refusal to be tamed by ease. It is the first victory of the day, and the first victory is everything. For in that moment, you set the tone for all that follows. Imagine the life you desire, the strength, the brilliance, the freedom. None of it will come to those who yield to the small temptations of comfort. Each morning is a challenge, and your bed is the first adversary. To rise immediately, to cast off the laziness that clutches at your limbs, is to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your weakest impulses. Do not let the day dictate terms to you. Seize it, command it. When you rise without hesitation, you are not merely leaving a bed, you are leaving behind excuses, doubts, and the chains of inaction. You are stepping into a world that belongs to those who dare to move, to act, to strive. And yet this act is not without its own quiet heroism. For every time you rise, you silence the voice of defeat within. You remind yourself that greatness is not born of ease, but of effort. The simplest choice, to stand or to stay, holds the power to shape your destiny. So stand. Rise not for obligation, but for triumph. Rise because each morning is a battlefield, and you are the warrior who refuses to bow. Rise because the world will not wait, and neither should you. In that moment, as you step away from the comfort of your bed, you are not just waking, you are becoming. Silence for reflection. In the chaos of the world, there is a place where true power is born, within the silence that you allow yourself to step into. It is not the silence of mere absence, but the quiet of the mind that seeks to understand, to connect, to create. In this stillness, you are free from the noise of others, free from the demands of the external world. Here, in these fleeting moments, the seeds of greatness are sown. When was the last time you paused? When did you last? Allow yourself the luxury of silence, not as a retreat, but as a forge for your thoughts, your will, and your vision. The world around you spins endlessly, demanding your attention. Yet it is in the quiet that you can hear the faint but undeniable voice of your own truth. You are not like the others, swept away by the currents of distraction. You are the one who steps aside, who seeks the solitude necessary to hear the whispers of possibility. The noise of the world is a mask that hides the path to your greatness. Every day we drown out the essential truths with the irrelevant, the trivial, the mundane. But in those 5 minutes of solitude, you strip away the unnecessary. You allow your mind to breathe, to reconnect with the power that lies within you. There in that void, your greatest ideas are born, not in the rush of thoughts, but in the stillness between them. In silence, you find the answers that the world cannot give you. You find the clarity that eludes you in the clamor of your routines and obligations. It is in these quiet moments that the seeds of transformation are planted. The path to your greatness is not carved out in the noise of others, but in the quiet of your own mind, where your true self can emerge without the weight of expectation. So take those moments. Do not rush to fill them. Do not fear the quiet. It is here that your mind can truly sharpen, that your soul can stretch and reach. Silence is not an absence, it is a presence that holds the power to change everything. It is in this space, free from the world's demands, that you will find your most profound thoughts, the ones that will lead to your greatest deeds. When you step into silence, you are not retreating from the world, you are preparing to meet it on your own terms. The greatest actions come not from incessant doing, but from knowing what to do. And that knowledge comes only in the stillness. This is where you begin to shape your destiny, not through the clamor of external forces, but through the quiet conviction that rises from within you. Writing your goals. There is power in the act of writing, but it is not just the act itself that matters. It is the intent behind it, the purpose with which you inscribe your desires onto paper. Today, take a moment to write down 3 things you wish to achieve. They must not be monumental, they must not be grandiose. No, these things must be simple. Yet in their simplicity, they must carry the weight of meaning. You see, greatness does not come from distant, unattainable goals. It is woven into the fabric of the everyday, the small actions that ripple out and shape the course of our lives. To write these goals is to declare your sovereignty over the trivialities of life. It is to choose what is important, to decide what deserves your energy. For when we set our intentions clearly, we shape the day, And in shaping the day, we shape the future. The world will not wait for you. It does not care whether your ambitions are small or grand. But you have the power to choose how you will move through it. To write your goals is to carve out a path of action, to set your feet upon solid ground. It is not about complexity, it is about clarity. What do you want today? Write it down. Let those words carry weight. In these seemingly small goals lies the essence of your greatness. To achieve them is to prove to yourself that you can act, that you are capable of taking command of your day. It is in these simple actions that you find your true power. To write down what you intend to do is to remind yourself that you are not a passive observer of life. You are its creator. So take your pen. Write down the 3 things that matter most to you today. Do not let them be distractions or obligations. Let them be the things that will move you forward, that will inch you closer to the person you are destined to become. This is your declaration of intent. This is your first victory. This is where your greatness begins, creating order. To bring order to the world around you is not a trivial task, nor is it a mere act of cleaning. It is a declaration of mastery over the chaos that seeks to invade every corner of your life. You are not simply tidying up your space. You are asserting control over the disorder that threatens your mind, your spirit, and your will. For the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. What you see around you is a mirror of the turmoil within. When your environment is in disarray, it is not just your room or your desk that is in chaos, it is your very mind. You are lost in the noise, distracted by the mess, unable to focus on what truly matters. The clutter that surrounds you is a manifestation of the clutter within you. It is a physical expression of your inability to command your own life. But when you choose to organize, to clear away the debris, you are not just cleaning, you are reclaiming your power. Every movement, every gesture that brings order to your surroundings sends a message to your subconscious. You are in control. You are no longer a passive observer of your life, you are the one shaping it. The act of creating order is a profound assertion of your will to impose structure on the world around you, to carve a space of clarity where once there was only confusion. Do not underestimate the power of a clean environment. It is not simply about aesthetics or convenience, it is about the energy you cultivate. When you clear the clutter, you make room for what truly matters. You make room for thought, for action, for creation. In a clean space, your mind can focus, your body can relax, and your spirit can breathe. And so, by taking control of your environment, you are taking control of your destiny. The world will not serve you until you first serve yourself. You cannot expect to conquer the great battles of life if you are not first able to conquer the small ones. It begins with your space. It begins with order. In the quiet of a neatly arranged room, you will find the clarity to see your path forward. This is not a mundane task. This is an act of power. This is the first step towards commanding your life. And as you create order in your surroundings, you will feel the power surge within you, an undeniable force that will propel you forward into the greatness that awaits. Control of speech. In the morning, let your words be few, and let them carry weight. You rise not only from your bed, but from the depths of silence, a silence that holds the power to shape your thoughts, your actions, your very existence. The world is loud, relentless, constantly demanding your attention, your voice. But you are not here to speak for the sake of noise. You are here to speak with purpose, with intention, with the full force of your being behind each word. In the quiet of the morning, let your speech be deliberate. Each word you utter must be like a stone thrown into the still water of your day, creating ripples that reach the farthest corners of your existence. Words are not mere sounds. They are the building blocks of your reality. They carry the weight of your will, your desires, your vision. What you say in the morning will echo throughout the day. What you fail to say, what you waste in trivialities, is a loss of power, a surrender to the chaos that surrounds you. You must learn to speak like a conqueror. Speak not to fill the silence, not to appease the expectations of others, but to shape the world with your voice. In the quiet of the morning, before the world demands your attention, you have the power to command, to direct, to influence with precision. Your words must be as sharp as a blade, cutting through the distractions, bringing clarity to the chaos. Let them be few but strong. Let them carry the weight of your will, for they will create the foundation upon which the rest of your day will stand. Do not squander your speech on idle chatter, for in those meaningless words you give away pieces of your power. Speak only when necessary, and when you do, let each word strike with intent. The world will not wait for you to speak. It will not pause for your words to have meaning. But you must ensure that when you speak, the world cannot ignore. You, in the silence of the morning, find your strength. In the few words you utter, find your purpose. And as the day unfolds, let those words guide you, shaping your actions, leading you with the force of a mind in full control of itself. Speak with weight, speak with power, and you will command not only your day, but the world itself. Refusal of weakness. Today, make a promise to yourself, a promise that will resonate through every fiber of your being. I will not complain about anything today. There is power in this simple declaration, for in it lies the refusal to surrender to the weakness that seeks to take hold of your mind. Complaints are the refuge of the weak, the crutch of those who are unwilling to confront the reality of their situation, to face the challenges that life throws their way. Every time you complain, you betray your own potential. You give in to the belief that life is something to be endured rather than something to be mastered. You acknowledge the problems, the obstacles, the hardships, but in doing so, you accept them as something that defines you. You become a passive spectator in your own life, letting external circumstances dictate your emotional state. And this is the path of weakness, but to refuse to complain is to step into the realm of strength. It is to say, I do not need to whine, I do not need to lament. I will face what comes with resolve, with power, with the certainty that I am the master of my own experience. Complaints are the language of those who have given up on their own agency. They speak as though the world owes them something, as though circumstances should bend to their will. But true power does not require this. True power stands unshaken in the face of adversity, for it knows that the only thing it controls is its own response. In refusing to complain, you free yourself from the shackles of victimhood. You reject the mindset that life is something to be endured, instead embracing the truth that you are not merely surviving, you are living, creating, evolving. The day will not be perfect, the world will not be kind, but this is not a reason to complain. This is the very material from which greatness is forged. Let the weak complain, let them wallow in their dissatisfaction, but you are different. You are a creator, a warrior. You do not waste your energy on complaints, for you know that they are the chains that bind you to mediocrity. Instead, you direct your energy toward action, toward transformation, toward the building of a life that does not bend to the whims of circumstance. So promise yourself, today you will not complain. You will not allow weakness to seep into your thoughts, your words, or your actions. You will rise above the petty frustrations of the world and meet each challenge with the strength of one who has fully embraced the power to shape their own destiny. Nourishment for the body. The body, that fragile vessel which carries your will through the world, must be treated with respect, not indulgence, not appeasement. You are not here to serve its cravings, nor to enslave yourself to fleeting pleasures. The true master does not cater to the whims of the body. The body serves him, and it serves him with vitality, with strength, with the energy necessary to carry out the great deeds of life. To begin your day with simple, healthy food is not a mere routine, it is an assertion of control. It is an act of self-discipline, a declaration that you are not a slave to desire, that you do not seek comfort in sugar, in caffeine, in foods that numb you to the reality of your existence. To nourish the body is to fuel it for greatness, to give it what it needs, not what it wants. And in that difference lies the path to strength. You must ask yourself, what is the purpose of this body? It is not a vessel for indulgence, not a playground for every fleeting sensation. It is the instrument of your will, and as such, it must be treated as such. The food you consume is either fuel for your purpose, or it is poison that dulls your edge, weakens your resolve. Simple, healthy nourishment is not a sacrifice. It is the foundation of greatness. It is the quiet strength that comes from within, the energy that propels you forward in the face of adversity. To eat mindfully, to choose nourishment over comfort, is to rise above the base instincts that seek to control you. It is to say, I am the master of this body. It does not command me, I command it. You do not seek food as a reward, nor as a form of escape from the struggles of life. You seek it as a tool, a means to an end, a way to sharpen the weapon that is your physical form. Remember, indulgence is a form of weakness, a surrender to the fleeting desires of the flesh. To eat with purpose, to nourish yourself in a way that enhances your power and sharpens your mind, is to refuse weakness. It is to say that you will not be ruled by your cravings, that you will not waste your strength on temporary pleasures. You will feed yourself with the discipline of a warrior, knowing that each meal is a step toward your greater potential. So rise above the chains of habit, above the lure of indulgence. Begin your day with food that fuels your body for greatness, not for comfort. Nourish yourself as the creator, the conqueror that you are. This is not a mere act of eating. This is an act of will, of power, of mastery over the self. Creating a vision. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 1 year from today. What do you see? What has changed? Do you recognize the person you've become, or do you see a stranger, someone who has dared to push beyond the limits of their current self? To imagine your future is not a mere exercise in fantasy. No, it is an act of creation, an assertion of what can be, what will be, if you dare to believe it. The world is not shaped by chance, it is shaped by vision. The vision you hold of yourself, of your potential, will dictate the course of your actions, the choices you make, and the person you become. When you picture yourself a year from now, ask not what you wish to have, but what you wish to have become. You are not here to settle, to tread the same path as the masses. You are here to carve a new path, to step into a future that is forged by your will, your actions, your sacrifices. In this vision, you must see yourself as more than you are today. You must see yourself as the embodiment of your deepest potential. The person you imagine should not be distant or unattainable. They should be the person you are already becoming, if only you would act with purpose. For vision is not passive. It is not a daydream, a wish that life will hand you greatness. It is the blueprint for your future, the map that guides your actions. When you know what lies ahead, when you are able to visualize the life you want, you can move toward it with unwavering certainty. You will know what is worth pursuing and what is merely a distraction. Your vision will filter out the noise of the world, focusing your attention solely on what matters. This vision is not a fantasy, it is a call to action. The future does not wait for you. It does not bend to your desires. It is created by the choices you make today, by the discipline you impose upon yourself, by the vision you hold. When you see your future clearly, you will not be deterred by the obstacles that stand in your way. You will know that these obstacles are nothing but stepping stones to the person you are meant to become. So picture yourself a year from now. See the success you've achieved, see the person you've grown into, and then ask yourself, what will you do today to make that vision a reality? This is not just about imagining the future. It is about creating it. The vision is yours to shape, and in shaping it, you shape your destiny. Control over emotions. Today, resolve to master your emotions. Declare it to yourself with the strength of a conqueror. No one will pull me from my center today. The forces of chaos are always at work, eager to provoke, to unsettle, to disturb the still waters of your mind. Yet you stand above it all. You are not a slave to the whims of others, not a puppet on the strings of external forces. Your inner world is yours to command. To allow others to disturb your peace is to surrender your power. It is to say that you are not in control, that your emotional state is at the mercy of whatever happens to you, of whatever is said to you. But this is the way of weakness. Those who let their emotions be dictated by the world live as slaves to its currents, tossed about by every word, every action. They are swept away in the chaos, their will broken by the smallest disturbance. But you are different. You understand that emotional mastery is not a passive state. It is an active choice, a fierce discipline. Your emotions are not a reflection of the world. They are a reflection of your own inner strength. You alone decide how to respond. You are not a leaf in the wind, buffeted by every gust. You are the wind itself, shaping the world around you with the force of your will. To master your emotions is to create an inner fortress, one that cannot be breached by the opinions of others, by the circumstances of the day, by the petty frustrations that would normally cause you to lose your composure. Your peace is your power, and you guard it with the discipline of a warrior. No one can steal your peace unless you allow them to. This is not to say that you will not feel. On the contrary, it is to acknowledge that you are human, but you will not be ruled by your feelings. You will not be swept away by the tides of anger, frustration, or fear. You will stand firm, rooted, in the knowledge that your emotional state is yours to command, and no one can take that from you. In this world, emotions are weapons. Either they will control you, or you will control them. When you master your emotions, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you command the world. The choice is yours. Will you allow yourself to be tossed about by every external force, or will you stand as a rock in the storm, unshaken, unyielding, the master of your own emotional kingdom? A small act of courage. There is power in the smallest of actions, the quietest of rebellions against the comfort and fear that bind you. Today, do something that requires courage, however small it may seem. A single step, a solitary act that forces you to rise above the inertia of the ordinary, that challenges the lethargy of the soul. It is not the size of the act that matters, it is the will behind it, the fire within you that pushes against the tide of resistance. You see, courage is not born in grand gestures, in the moments of apparent heroism that the world celebrates. No, true courage is found in the quiet, unseen moments where you decide to confront your own limitations, where you choose to act against your own fears. It is in those small acts, those seemingly insignificant steps, that the foundation of true strength is built. To make such an act is to declare war on weakness. It is to say that you will not be ruled by fear, that you will not be enslaved by doubt. Even the smallest of steps taken with purpose strengthens the will, for each act of courage is a victory over the self. Each time you act in spite of fear, you chip away at the chains that bind you, and you rise higher, closer to the person you are meant to be. This is where the true warriors are made, not in the grand battles, but in the quiet moments when no, One is watching when the world does not applaud. True greatness is not achieved in a single leap. It is built in the accumulation of small acts of defiance, small victories that accumulate over time. So today, do something that requires courage. It need not be bold or dramatic. It may even be something that seems trivial to the world, but to you in this moment, it is a declaration. It is a stand against weakness, a choice to act in the face of fear. This is how you forge your will, how you prepare yourself for the challenges yet to come. You are not here to exist in comfort, to avoid discomfort at any cost. You are here to rise, to challenge yourself, to build a strength that comes not from avoiding fear, but from confronting it. And it begins with one small act, a step that shows you that you are more than your fears, that you are more than the comfort you cling to. It is in this small act, this quiet rebellion, that you begin to forge the power that will carry you forward into the future. Laugh at yourself. To take yourself too seriously is to submit to the absurdity of life. The great ones, the true individuals, those who rise above the ordinary, understand that they are not gods, not untouchable beings of perfection. They are flawed, human, vulnerable. Yet this vulnerability is their strength, for it is in the recognition of their own absurdity that they transcend it. To laugh at yourself is not an act of weakness. It is an act of power. It is the refusal to be shackled by pride or vanity, the rejection of the lie that you must always appear perfect, always in control. To laugh at your own foolishness is to embrace life in its raw, unrefined state. It is to acknowledge the chaos, the imperfections, and to find joy in them rather than fear. Do you truly think that greatness is born in the pursuit of perfection? No. Greatness is forged in the fire of failure, in the humility of acknowledging that you are not above the world, but a part of it, its chaos, its contradictions. When you laugh at yourself, you free yourself from the tyranny of ego. You stop clinging to the image of yourself as flawless and untouchable. You become free to act, to fail, to rise again, unburdened by self-importance. The greatest of minds understood this. Nietzsche himself, in his revelatory moments, mocked the very notion of perfection. He saw in the human condition not a tragedy to be lamented, but a celebration of life's absurdity. To laugh at oneself is to embrace the absurdity of existence with open arms, to say, I am not above this world, but I am its master. It is in this laughter that you find freedom. When you laugh at your own mistakes, your own foolishness, you strip away the chains of pride that bind you. You become lighter, unburdened by the weight of self-importance. You see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And yet in this acceptance, you find a power that others, weighed down by their own seriousness, cannot even begin to comprehend. So today, remember something absurd you have done recently. Laugh at it. Not with shame, but with the knowledge that this is part of your journey. For in your willingness to laugh at yourself, you transcend the limitations of ego and embrace the true freedom that comes from accepting both your greatness and your flaws. Only then can you truly rise above the mundane and become the creator of your own destiny. Heightening the senses, step outside and close your eyes. In the stillness, you will hear the world, not as a backdrop to your thoughts, but as a living, breathing entity with its own rhythm, its own pulse. The wind does not simply brush past you. It caresses your skin, wraps you in its invisible embrace. The sounds that surround you are not mere noise. They are the symphony of existence itself, a reminder that life is not something you observe from a distance, but something you feel in every fiber of your being. In this moment, you are not a spectator. You are a part of the world, an integral thread in the fabric of reality. The wind, the rustling of leaves, the distant hum of life, these are not distractions. They are invitations to awaken, to recognize that life is not something that happens to you, It's something that flows through you in every breath, in every sensation. To truly live is to be fully immersed in the world, to heighten your senses, to engage with reality in its raw, unfiltered form. Too many live as if the world is a mere backdrop to their thoughts, to their fleeting concerns. But the great ones, the visionaries, the creators, they see the world as a vast, intricate dance, a living canvas upon which they leave their mark. And this dance, this vibrancy, is only available to those who are awake, to those who are attuned to the subtle symphony of existence. Close your eyes and listen. Feel the wind as it touches your skin. Hear the birds calling to each other. Feel the pulse of life that flows through the streets, through the trees, through the air itself. This is not mere existence. This is life in its purest form, in its most immediate visceral state. When you open your senses to this, you are no longer a passive observer. You are an active participant, fully engaged in the world around you. This is where life begins, not in your thoughts, not in your ambitions, but in your ability to truly experience the world. The great ones understood this. They knew that to live fully was to be attuned to the world's rhythms, to its sounds, its sensations, its pulse. And it is in this awareness, in this heightened sense of being, that true greatness is born. So, today, step outside. Close your eyes and listen. Feel the wind, the sounds, the life that surrounds you. In this moment, you are not merely living, you are experiencing life. And in that experience, you will find a clarity, a power, and a depth of understanding that will shape everything you do from this moment on. Reflecting on your day. As the day draws to a close, before you succumb to the comfort of sleep, pause. Ask yourself, what did I do today to become stronger, to become more than I was yesterday? This question is not just a formality. It is a moment of reckoning, a test of your commitment to self-transformation. It is in this quiet, solitary moment that your true progress is revealed, not in the accolades or the praises of others, but in the honest confrontation with your own actions, your own choices. You see, greatness is not achieved in grand, isolated moments. It's built in the small, consistent steps you take, day after day. And these steps are not always easy. There will be days when the road seems long, when the weight of your own limitations bears down upon you. But it is in these moments that your true strength is forged, when you decide to move forward despite the doubts, despite the obstacles. Each day you rise, each day you act with intention, you become a little more than you were the day before. To ask yourself this question, what have I done today to become better, is not a simple reflection. It is an active choice to hold yourself accountable to your highest potential. It is a declaration that you are not content with mediocrity, that you are not willing to live passively, to drift through life without purpose. You are here to create, to build, to transcend the limitations of your former self. And when you lie down to sleep, let this question echo in your mind. Let it stir you. Let it drive you to act with greater intention tomorrow. For tomorrow, you begin again, but with a new strength, a new understanding of what you are capable of. Each day is a new opportunity, a new battlefield on which you fight to become the highest version of yourself. And each night, as you reflect on what you have done, you prepare for the war you will face the next day. A war not against the world, but against your own weaknesses, your own limitations. Tomorrow you will rise, and with each new sunrise, you will be stronger, more capable, more aligned with your purpose. The world will not wait for you to catch up, but you will meet it on your terms, with the clarity and the strength that comes from facing yourself honestly, from knowing that each day you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. So as you close your eyes tonight, ask yourself, what have I done today to become better? And know that tomorrow you will begin again, but already you will be more than you were. As the final seconds of this journey draw near, remember this: the path to greatness is forged in the quiet moments, in the choices you make when no one is watching. You are the creator of your destiny, the master of your fate. Every day is an opportunity to rise, to challenge yourself, to become the person you were meant to be. So go forward with purpose and strength. Let your actions speak louder than words, and may every step bring you closer to the life you are destined to live. Until tomorrow, stay relentless.